Hey everyone, how are you doing? Mike the Handy Homeowner here. Today I want to show you how to reshape plastics with a heat gun. Alright, so what I've got here is a pretty cheap Porter cable heat gun. Has a couple settings, a low and a high. Has another little knob here for adjusting the temperature of it. And I pretty much just leave it on the highest setting all the time. What I want to talk about though is just taking this thing and using it to reshape plastics. So if you heat it up a little bit, like I did this pen, it took about 6 seconds, the plastic will soften and you can bend it to a new shape. Once it cools, it'll hold that shape. This is a really simple thing to do. It's just a matter of knowing that you can do it, and I'll show you a little bit about it and maybe a quick tip or trick on it. You may have seen a video I did on this power inflator, and I used the heat gun to soften up the top of this thing. I didn't do that in the video, but I talked about it, that I used the heat gun to reshape that. The item I'm going to work on today is this ice scoop. So you may have seen the video I made about our GE profile Opal Nugget ice machine, and we use an ice scoop like this. Well, this thing's been driving me nuts for a while, because if you look at how wide it is, it'll actually end up dumping ice all around the glass as well as into it. So it's kind of been driving me nuts, and I figured, you know what, I'm gonna modify it. One of the things I'm going to use for this is going to be a clamp, and the reason for that is you don't want to be holding on to this while it's hot, because it will get pretty darn hot. So we're going to use this clamp and kind of squeeze it down close to the shape we want. Okay, so now that we've got this clamped up to the shape that we want, I'm going to turn this onto the low setting and just slowly work back and forth. Because I don't want to overheat it and make a mess of this thing. Alright, that already should be enough to start taking a new shape. It's getting warm. I'm going to move this clamp down just a little bit here. Turn it around to the back side. I'm going to repeat this. So heat gun is a great tool because it can remove paint, it can reshape plastics, it can help get sticky stickers and junk off of things. It's always better to do a little bit less than a little too much. You know, it'll end up melting and ruining your project if you overdo it. So it's better to just take it a little bit at a time, use low heat, heat it up, see if it took the shape you want. If it needs a little more, you can always do more. It's hard to undo it if it cooks that plastic and ruins it. All right, so now that it's been nice and hot, we're gonna check if it's holding its shape a little bit. That already looks better. Now doing this with a heat gun is way better than using a flame of any kind, because a flame will end up being a really direct heat and it'll probably ruin that plastic you're working on in just a matter of seconds, compared to the heat gun where it just seems to soften it up. Once you think you've got it to the shape you want, all you've got to do is let it sit and cool, hopefully like with that clamp on it, or dip it in some cool water, put some ice on it, run it through a faucet, whatever you want to do to cool that plastic back down, and then it'll hold that shape. If it's not enough, you can always reclamp it or heat it up again and make a little bend or whatever you need to do to add to what you're trying to accomplish. There you go. That's pretty much all you got to do there. You can see now I've got a narrower scoop, and I'm gonna go test it out and see if it doesn't spill ice all over the place. Maybe I'll get it in the glass. Anyway, guys, listen, you can use this tip to reshape any plastics around any handle of something or whatever you've got. I hope it helps you out. Click like, click subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.